G'day guys, I'm James from Betfair, joined by my colleague and friend, Mr. Tom Bishop. We're going to be talking about the Carrot Cruncher, as we call it internally, but the horse racing rating system that we have on the Betfair Hub. Can you speak to sort of how that was created?
Yeah, so it's an exclusively Punting Form model. So we've got the full sectionals data set from Punting Form. And we've basically built a bunch of features or attributes of the horses that are going to be racing every day. And we run it through a machine learning algorithm, and it sort of spits out some rated odds.
And in that machine learning, it's sort of working out which features are the most important. Can you speak to anything that sort of stands out in terms of...
Yeah, so it's not all automatic. You have to create features, and as someone who's knows little to nothing about racing, we had to work pretty closely with the guys in-house that know a lot about racing. And you sort of build a whole bunch of sort of candidate attributes of horses, and then the machine learning algorithm sort of churns through them and decides which ones are important. So in terms of like exclusively what's in the model, I guess there are probably like 3 or 4 main things. Sectional speeds, so the speeds to the first 600 meters and in the last 600 meters are used. And then we have a bit of an adaptation of the ELO rating system from chess. So ELO is something that's used in sports modeling a fair bit, but there's a bit of a multiplayer adaptation that we've been able to use for horses. And basically that system, the ELO system, basically has some idea of like how you're meant to do in a given race, and it'll dock you if you perform worse than that. So if you're a very short horse and you lose to some horses that you shouldn't have lost to, it'll lower your rating accordingly. So we have that for the horses and the jockeys and the trainers.
Yeah, right. And the outputs are rated prices. How would you recommend someone use it from home when they're seeing those outputs?
Yeah, so I guess that's the purest way to use it, is that the output is directly like a probability or an odds, and yeah, the purest way is just to compare it to what's available in the market. And if you notice something that the model really likes but the market sort of hasn't caught on to yet, it's probably a good thing to back, and then vice versa on the other side. If the model really doesn't like it but it's very short in the exchange, you maybe lay it.
And is there any sort of features that get caught up in this that sort of skew the results, or things to be wary of, or times not to use it? Like maybe a first starter race or something like that?
So that's, generally these kinds of models are less good at creating ratings when it doesn't have a lot of data. So machine learning is good at crunching through huge amounts of data. So it's probably a little bit better performing on those races where all the horses have lots of history for the machine learning algorithm to find the important features.
Cool. And someone with your similar skill set, if they were interested in creating their own ratings, do we have any resources that would help? Yeah,
so we have a lot of models, like a model walkthroughs available on our GitHub. We don't have this one on GitHub because it's sort of an exclusive data set, so you wouldn't sort of be able to follow the process. But for some sports where the data is publicly available, we have full walkthroughs on how the model was built, and this one was built very similarly, so you sort of get an idea of the process that we would have gone through to build this one.
Great, and ultimately, if you're able to sort of get that far, you can then link it up with the Betfair Exchange API and be able to bet through it automatically.
Yeah, so there's some other resources on GitHub as well, which can get you set up with the API. And then once you got the races, the easiest part, the easiest part is automating your bet placement. So you just compare the ratings with the prices or however you want to go about it, but you can set it up to run automatically and you don't have to watch it all the time.
There you go. All right, no more interrogating from me, mate. Thanks a lot for coming in. Really appreciate it.
No worries.